I just warn them, like, the sickos are vultures. They will be sending you requests nonstop. And that is just something that you have to be prepared for. So
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Credible Commish, a series celebrating the backbone of fantasy sports, the commissioners who run their leagues the right way. Today, we've got a very special guest, Luke, a.k.a. the Boat Commish, and from what I can tell from his social media posts, this guy definitely runs his leagues the right way. What's up, Luke? What's going on, man?
how we doing? No, excited to be here. Thanks for having me. No, ready to get this credible commish going.
Awesome. Um, First off, on the show, we like to get to know the person behind the commissioner. So tell everyone where you're from and who is your team and why.
Well, my name's Luke. I go by Boat Commish, FF on Twitter, and then through our Smash Accept network. My favorite team is the Cleveland Browns. I grew up in Minnesota, but it's actually pretty. it's it's a silly story. In my family always complained about Minnesota sports, and so I just couldn't take on the Vikings. I like them in a sense, but they're not. They at recess in fourth grade, me and my buddies were throwing the football around, and they were saying like their favorite team names, and I didn't really have one because I didn't want to choose the Vikings. So I said, "Well, who can I have?" And then my buddy, he goes, "Well, you can have the Browns because nobody likes them." So ever since fourth grade, I have been a Cleveland Browns fan. It has been brutal. It's nonstop misery, but hey, I am loyal. Loyalty to the T. So yeah, no, the Browns are the squad.
Man, that is brutal. Your friend knew what he was doing, probably. He's like, oh, I'll
I
rub it
know.
in this guy's face.
I know.
Awesome story. Let's keep going, man. What
Hmm.
what is your earliest football memory?
Earliest football memory, I would say, would just be watching like Sunday night football, Monday night football with the family. Just kind of downstairs, and then we had a pool table downstairs, and after in commercial breaks, they would throw the football to me while I was running like fake routes around the pool table. So I would say that is my like football just memory, just watching any type of football. Yeah, no, just kind of that's what comes to mind right away.
Oh, that's awesome. Always a good memory when families involved. What about when did you start getting into fantasy football?
Fantasy football, I mean, I would say in high school, that's when it really started. We started our first like it was basically just our redraft league. And then I would say in 2012 is when Dynasty really took off for me. Just because that was I forgot even who we were drafting, but it was just high school. I would say high school is when our redraft league started, um, and I just fell in love with it. It is the I remember my first league. I traded away Mike Evans, my
Ooh.
his rookie year, and I was. I just love trading. I don't care what it is. Even when I started, I loved trading. I love all the work that goes into like talking with your friends and knowing all of like their values and things like that. And then throughout, just growing in the process and everything like that. Now I'm mostly dynasty, but and now just knowing values of rookie picks and things like that. I just absolutely love it.
Oh man, 2012. That that dynasty I don't think really blew up until, you know, maybe way after that. So, you're one
Hmm.
of the early dynasty folks. That's awesome.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Awesome. So, when did you first become a commissioner?
Yeah, commissioner. I mean, we started right away in high school, so that was my first time. Didn't really know what I was doing, but it's always like that one person that like kind of just gets into it. I will say that I am very much like I love like the control piece that you can take it how you will, but like the control of like just getting people together and like um having people, I mean, come to you with ideas, and then I'm constantly looking into new things and new ideas to then bring to the table. That's what I personally love. Just kind of getting that gang together, and then you continue to grow on that. You have like your sickos that continue to just put in the work and are constantly thinking about it, and then you mix in some people that are more casual players, and then it's such a good mix, and I love getting people together. That's one of my favorite things to do.
You mentioned like a good mix of casual and then dynasty sickos, right? Like as a commissioner, how do you kind of get them to play along together pretty well? Because I imagine maybe some people might be taking advantage of the more casual ones. What do you think or believe the role of the commish is in that aspect?
I think just making sure that you fully give the beginners people like the an idea of what the league is and what they're like getting into, because right away, like we had a new person join a league today, or not today, this year, and we had and I just warned them like the sickos are vultures. They will absolutely just go right into your. They will be sending you requests nonstop. And that is just something that you have to be prepared for. So, just really diving deep into the league, go over bylaws, go over like what to expect within your leagues. I think that sounds like that sets the groundwork. And then if they are more than willing to have that type of interactions and are okay with that, then that's what I want
Hmm.
in my leagues, because yeah, they are sickos, but just making sure that they know kind of the what we provide in the league, as well as like how often we trade. I like sending out just kind of a report of like, hey, these are the trades that we did within the month, these are the trades that we've done it over the year, so like they understand how many trades go on, because that is the big piece that I like in my leagues, is just making sure, and we all like that, like the active
Mhm.
leagues. We love active leagues. Everyone talks about it, but it's just setting that groundwork to make sure that they are fully invested and understand what they're getting into.
That makes a lot of sense. Just setting expectations, especially for the newer players, it really helps, keep the league balance and everybody feels like they're an equal part of the league. That's
Yes.
great insight there. So, how many leagues do you commission now?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely cut back, so I'm expecting baby number two. So
Oh,
I'm
congrats!
actually thank you very much. So we're cutting back. I mean, I'm in 16, and so with that, it just is it's a lot, but it's awesome. It's the experiences and the people that I've gotten to meet through this, and it just keeps rolling on like
Mhm.
so many, and especially now joining like the Smash Accept network, and just that those group of guys there, they've wanted me to commission leagues and get into my startups and things like that, and we'll get there. I think we will absolutely get there, but I need to set a boundary right now, and then we'll jump right back into it.
Oh yeah. I mean, having another kid, growing family,
Mhm.
that's a lot more time on your plate. But man, I always find time for my leagues, and I've got three. I've got three, but I
Hey,
really could cut back as well. But
then
but
there's hope. There's hope that I will absolutely do it. But yeah, no, there's just with all of just I want to set a standard in my leagues on what I'm
Mhm.
doing. I'm constantly talking in my leagues and I'm constantly coming up with new rules and I want to do it right. I want to make sure
Yeah.
that I'm doing it right. Because there's nothing worse than joining a league and then the commissioner is just not what you really wanted or expected. And I have a standard that I want to set for my leagues and just make sure that everyone is just loving it. So.
That's yeah. I have leagues where I'm commissioning, and it's unfair to be inactive. Uh,
Mhm.
I'm more active in some than others, and so I
Yep.
really should probably cut back. So that's good, good advice. Um, what what keeps you coming back year after year and wanting to commish these leagues?
It's the group of people that you are with. If you're not in a fun league, if you're not enjoying it, then I absolutely think that that is something that needs to change. I set a standard within my leagues on like if it's a home league, we're doing everything in our power to like get together, even if it's over like a virtual meet or something like that, to just make sure that everyone is continuously talking. If it is a public league, I'm making sure that everyone just understands like the standard that I'm setting of of trading, responding to trades, just the kind of like the NFL came out with just all a bunch of rules and I just brought up like just making sure that the rules that you voted on in February now talk about them again, bring them up so you are getting your 2026 season off on the right start. It is just talking with people. I love trading is my favorite thing. I lose trades, I win trades. Sometimes they're even. And it brings me back every single time. Talking trades, there's lull periods, but I'm trying to kind of burst through that lull period and still continuously give the people that want to break a break, but I really don't want to give them that break. I want to I want to continue shooting trades off.
That's great, man. Yeah, I think a common thread as I've been doing episodes is just the community that the
Hmm.
leagues create. So um, that's all good, but we know fantasy football might not be all sunshine and rainbows. Have you had any big league controversies or drama you've had to deal with?
I think the biggest one in recent years was the Bengals game.
Mm.
That late game that was like determining whether like championships, how are we going to do championships? That year we actually finished a year early, so we are a week early. We
Oh.
didn't do it was like a super because everyone moved to then week week 15 as their start of playoffs and we started week 16 or no week 14 starting playoffs, so we actually got we were good on that one in one of my leagues, but on another league we started in week 15, and we were kind of blundered by like that whole Damar Hamlin
Mm-hmm.
that whole issue. I shouldn't say issue, but that whole situation. So that kind of was a kind of a learning curve and just kind of going off of all right, what do we have in our bylaws, what are we going to there's rules like the game stopped, how are we going to do that? We came up with a solution. We did a vote with we did it without the teams that were actually involved in that, so it was like a low like the stakes weren't because obviously one person wanted the game to be done, the other person wanted the game obviously or to go the following week. So
Mm-hmm.
having that discussion and voting on that within your like that time crunch was kind of like a difficult one to go by.
Oh, for sure. I think when there's no precedent set, that's very difficult, and I think
Hmm.
everyone faced that.
Yep.
Um, were people happy with the resolution?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, the person that was going to win anyways, so that obviously helped it, but just kind of because I don't like voting in season. It needs to be unanimous. It needs to be like everyone wants this. So voting in season is very tricky. So making sure that we could, but this was one that you needed to vote on in season to figure out what we were going to do moving forward. Everyone was happy. It helped that the score was the going to be the same turnout no matter what. But yeah, so
What would you say is the hardest thing to manage in a fantasy league?
I would say the hardest thing to manage, I would one touch on just the activity within your leagues. I struggled with this when I first started, and then I started like having like an important dates calendar that I put up, and I put it out for the league as well as myself, just to kind of keep me organized as well. But certain like points in the season where I want to send things out, so like for our rookie drafts. Now it is becoming like everyone's seeing the chalk of the draft order and everything like that. First five picks and then kind of 106 is kind of up for grabs. But like having like a 2 year review, I saw it from fantasy footballers.
Hmm.
And it was, I think it was fantasy footballers, and it was one of the coolest ideas is do a 2 year review on your rookie draft. So if it was your draft was in 2023, then look over those in 2025 on that rookie draft. So we have like a document in one of my leagues of like a 2 year review. So like having things like that where you can boost engagement and talks
Hmm.
like that. Because at first it was just like, all right, this is the lull period. We just need to get through. And now I have certain spots where I want to um, have engagement and get people talking in the chats, and it has helped immensely. The other one I would say is just like the just payments. It's such a pain in the ass from from time to time of just collecting those, just making sure that people are paying their 27 first. If you trade those away, we want that payment. I want you to either confirm with me before, or I want you to confirm with me, and then and then I can see the payment, and then I can mark that down on my own spreadsheets and things like that. But I would say activity for some leagues, and then just making sure that you're collecting payment on just future draft capital.
Oh yeah, I think yeah, payments is quite a touchy subject for a lot of people. It always ends up
Yes,
being the kind of like the necessary thing, but people don't. They want to make it
correct.
as easy as possible, and
Mhm.
that's what I'm trying to do with FanCred. But
Yes.
so let's get into some fun. Those were some tough questions about leagues. Some rapid fire questions
Hit
about
me.
football because commissioners are players as well.
Hmm.
So let's get into it. Who's your QB1 for this season?
My QB1, it's Josh Allen. I think that rapid fire, but the Drake May as number two. I mean, that's fine, but it's Josh Allen. It's Josh Allen.
Who's your RB1?
My RB1, Bijan. Bijan. And Jameer Gibbs is like 1B, but it's Bijan.
Oh yeah. Wide receiver one.
Jamar Chase. I love him. I love him. I love Puka Nakua. I love JSN, but Jamar Chase is my number one.
Popular pick for sure. Who
Yep.
who is on your do not draft list?
I would say this might be a little hot, but I feel like Kyron Williams is the one that bites me every year, like since he's been in it, because every year I'm just like, I don't want to draft you. And then he continues to be like a stud.
Yeah.
But I think this year with Blake Corum and just like another year in that, I just Kyron Williams would be my RB that I just would not want to draft. I'd want to sell
Here it is, like maybe a fourth year is the charm. Is
him.
it
Yeah.
fourth?
No.
Predict the Browns record this year.
Oh God, don't do it to me. Oh, I'm hoping that Deshaun Watson doesn't even see the see the field personally.
Mhm.
I'm not hopeful for Shadur, but I am just more pleased with just watching him rather than try to watch Deshaun Watson. I think it's maybe a 4-win season under Todd Monken.
All right.
It's yeah, I'm not hopeful whatsoever.
There you go. Browns loyalty still going to be excited for the season despite that prediction.
Absolutely.
So, Super Bowl pick, both sides of the bracket. Who you got?
Oh, that's it. I would say I don't I don't think the Seahawks I'm sorry, but the Seahawks I don't think are going back to it. I I I that's a good question. I don't really have a prediction for that for that. I just don't. It's
Oh,
so
wow.
up I don't. I don't. I'm sorry.
Hey, it's early. It's early. Maybe
It's
it'll start
early. It's early. I don't have a
now.
prediction.
All right. Not the Browns. We know that.
Not not the Browns. No.
All right. Last question. What is your favorite fantasy football format?
Favorite fantasy football format? It would be Superflex, point 0.5 PPR. A lot of people like the full point. I like the half point. 0.75 tight end premium. Start 10. Starting 11 is a little sicko, but I'm fine with that. It would be 2 RBs, 3 wide receivers, a tight end, three. What am I at? Three flex, and then obviously your super flex. Um, I think that's they do that right. I think
Uh,
so.
yeah.
Hey, as long as it's start, I like start 10. Start 10. It's either 3 wide receivers or three flex.
Mm-hmm. Is that would you say dynasty, best ball, dynasty
Oh,
best ball?
dynasty, absolutely. Dynasty, just a regular dynasty. That's my favorite. Best ball, I'm fine with. But I just there's something to do with just dynasty in general that I just love, and just having your rosters set and not letting best ball kind of decide your lineups.
Yeah, I agree. I love dynasty.
Hmm.
So on this show, we do our best to share the knowledge of how to be a credible commish. So I want to ask, what makes a credible commish?
Hmm. I would say as soon as you are joining like a league, if they don't have bylaws in either pinned in the chat, or something that they can send you, or just like in that commissioner note on Sleeper. I just use Sleeper. If you are utilizing those, I think that's a huge piece. Have your managers look through those. Even if they don't want to look through them, you have them as like as the laws of the league. Having those, I would say making sure that you are like consistent within your league. So just not, I don't know, like expecting other people to do certain things and you yourself aren't doing those things. Um, yeah, payments ahead of time. I'm not a huge like pay for like I understand it, but I'm not a huge like the 3 years in advance when you join the
Hmm.
league or like any of that. You absolutely can do that, but I think that the amount of people that you get into your leagues won't be as much,
Hmm.
just because people won't want to fork up that amount right away. But I think with just being a credible commish, you are talking with your league. You're not just this person off in the distance and then requesting payments every year. You are talking with your leagues. You're engaging in trades. You are being like that fun kind of the fun boss, if you will. I maybe that's the terminology I'll go with. But just being that person that they can go to for if they need clarification on rules, if they need just any questions, be available to that. There's nothing worse than not knowing what a rule or proposal or like something goes on. That would be another one, would be like rules, like if the commissioner just decides on a certain rule like for themselves and not for like the league as the whole. You gotta Your mind has to be league first, and then yeah, kind of vote what you would want, but also you have to hear from the league. Having
Mhm.
that, making sure that there's no random league in the league chat of like commissioner used commissioner powers, and it's
Oh,
just like what the hell was that? So like just things like that. Yeah, I would say bylaws would be my number one though. That's one that I will continue to harp on just because I think that they are so important to leagues, for people to just know and understand where they are.
nice. You mentioned you use Sleeper for sort of the commissioner notes there. Like, what other tools do you use to make it easier to run your leagues, commissioner or not?
Yeah, I mean, I have my own like spreadsheets for like payment. I really wish that I could keep track of that on Sleeper. I'm big into utilizing one system and things like that.
Mm.
Whether like their payment tracker is fine, but if they're trading away like future first, like you can't track that within Sleeper or anything like that. Keep yourself organized within pinned messages on Sleeper. That is a huge one. Just making sure that you like keep that refreshed too. It's the worst when you are going through the pinned messages and you can't even find what you're looking for because they have like last year's stuff that's pinned for no reason and things like that. So definitely pinned messages, Excel spreadsheets, use any whatever keeps you organized. That is essential, but I like having my important dates, my bylaws, and then like if there are new rules or anything like that, like have that pinned to the messages. So pinned messages, I would say spreadsheets, and then just like a normal just Google Doc for everyone.
Nice. I tend to use pin messages a lot. So,
Hmm.
good advice there. Last question. What is one league rule every commissioner should adopt?
I personally love taxi steals. So
Oh.
if you've ever, I don't know if you've done this, but if you do taxi moves, have taxi steals as well. So like in my leagues, you once the season starts, you have that your your taxi squad is locked. Those locked positions for the season. One that I like to do is kind of like how the NFL has, like you can bring up the practice squad, but you can only do it so many times. My leagues that we allow two moves, so you're allowed to swap people, or you're allowed, and I'll track that as well. And that's another one that you use like spreadsheets to keep track of. And then taxi stealing is by far my favorite. So if you have a league that is like, granted, if you have max points for as your main, um, as your like inverse order of like doing your draft, if
Mhm.
like max points for it doesn't really re- kind of it doesn't what word am I trying to find? It doesn't pertain to you really by doing that, but if you don't have max points for, which I highly recommend you doing, and you have like if Marvin Harrison Jr. was on your taxi squad, or like oh my goodness, I'm blank. It's like say you have Ashton Genty or Jeremiah Love that you plan on putting on your taxi squad. This allows you with taxi stealing, you can send off a draft pick that is of value or more. So if you drafted Ashton Genty 101, you can throw the next year's 2026 first round pick to that owner, and they have 24 hours to decide whether to take that deal or to then get them off their taxi squad. So
Oh,
they have to either move that player to their active roster, or they have to accept that trade within the 24 hours. And we've adapted it kind of throughout, but it's such a fun rule that like it is basically like sending the NFL sending off like your pick equivalent to like what they gave them. So first, like if you drafted your player in the first and they're on your taxi squad, you have to offer a first. If you pick them in the second and they're in your taxi squad, you can offer them a second. If it's a third or a fourth or a fifth pick, and the minimum is a second. So it
Okay.
has to be that next year, and then like a pick equivalent minimum second round pick, if that makes sense.
It, yeah, I think I got the spirit of it, and it sounds
Yes.
awesome. I'm
Yeah.
curious on how many people offered a second for like Puka Nakua.
And that's exactly what it is. Like that is one where like because at the start, Puka Nakua, you were kind of like, all right, should I just obtain that value? Because I picked him up with $8 with Fob,
Oh,
which that was elite. But then I traded him away for 2 seconds and a third because in that moment I was like, it's too good to be true. I'm going to send him off. And now, obviously, I very much regret that. But it's a fun rule, and yeah, no, someone because in the taxi steal you can kind of negotiate, but the first initial you can go back and negotiate, but that first initial offer, yeah, it was a second round pick, and I was like, no, no.
yeah,
But then 2 seconds and a third, I guess that's what did it for me.
that's awesome. Great rule. I think it helps league engagement. So
Hmm.
very fun rule that you came up
Hmm.
for taxis. Well, Luke, it's been great having you on the show. A lot of great commissioner knowledge that you shared. Let's take this time to tell everyone what you've got going on and what are you looking forward to this upcoming season.
Yeah, this upcoming season, I mean, and follow me on Twitter. That's where my main content is, at Boat Commish FF. And with that, I will continue to put out commissioner content. I'm starting dynasty rankings. There's rookie rankings coming out. And yeah, within this, like the Smash Accept podcast, and the Smash Accept network, I'm also posting things within that Discord. So make sure to follow that. But yeah, no, just continuing to work, and we'll see where it goes. Definitely new to the space. I've been doing more content for like I think it's less than a year, but it has been an awesome time to just get to know new people within the space, like yourself, like others, and it has just been a fun journey. So we'll see what goes from there.
Awesome, awesome. Be sure to follow, subscribe to the Discord and the X accounts. Luke, appreciate you sharing your story. Every league has a credible commissioner behind it, and you're clearly one of the great ones. Uh, Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Peace.